So the first thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to combine these because we're getting a little bit low on time, is the SNL potential strike. Now, this is two strike potential things that are happening. So the SNL editors are saying that if they don't get a deal by April 1st, they are going to strike. You know, they're the post editors for all the live or all the edited segments that air on SNL. Now, we talked about this like back in like November when it started coming up. And of course, the editors actually just joined the union. They got part of the Motion Picture Editors Guild. This is their first time being involved. This is their first time they're negotiating a contract with SNL. And apparently it's not going well. They had a round of meetings in January and the negotiations just fell through. They said they were not getting their fair share. It was unacceptable. So now they're back at it again. They're supposed to meet again on Monday to talk some more. But if they don't work out a deal, they're going to strike April 1st. And NBC said for its part, it has vowed to resolve the situation by the end of the month ahead of the planned April 1st walkout. And I don't know if I believe it or not, because this has been going on since like November. Like November or December, there's been a little bit of time they've been talking about this. There's actually cast members wearing a T-shirt that says "Contract Now." The guy who plays Trump, he's been wearing it. So if the actors get on board, and this is the big thing people are saying online too, if the actors get on board and start, really getting behind them, what are they going to do? And of course, these editors are younger. A lot of them are, fresh out of college and stuff. They've been using new people, and they're given the opportunity. That's why they were not unionized before. But now they are unionized. It's a big show. They should be unionized. Everybody else is unionized. Why are they not, So it makes sense. But again, this happens. It's a first round of negotiations. And so the producers are lowballing them, they say, and they want their fair share. So they deserve it. And just like that happening, the WGA has come out now, and they have made their actual, pretty much demands for the contract negotiations that are about to start. And their contract ends May 1st. So if they don't get their stuff, they're gonna strike. They've already voted already. They had a vote, and 5,553 members, the 90 said, yes, we want this. We will strike. We'll give you the authorization if they will not meet our demands. And most of their demands come down to residuals. So the big thing is they want an increase of compensation to address the devaluation of writers across all areas of television, new media, and features. They want standardized compensation, if I could talk, and residual terms for features. They want to make sure that there's an address on these abuse of this mini rooms. What they do is they have less writers in the room as opposed to having a full writing staff on the features and on TV shows. Like new media, we don't need that many writers. Well, it should meet the same guidelines, they say. We need to make these guidelines. It can't be different. They're the same thing. TV streaming is the same shit as TV nowadays. If not, it's even bigger than TV nowadays, It's what everybody watches. And they want appropriate television series writing compensation throughout the entire process. They want to expand protections to cover all television writers and apply minimums to comedy variety programs made with new media, because they always, the variety stuff, they always lowball. It doesn't matter what you work on the variety stuff. They always try to do like a fixed rate for so many hours. They take the residuals down to nothing. So they're saying all this stuff should be covered. Same rights, same money across the board. And they just want to make sure they're covered. They want to make sure that they're not getting screwed, because they're saying that all these television programs and these movies on new media are making more money than they're making, and they're the backbone of it. They also want increased contributions to their pension health, of course. That's something that always happens every year for every contract negotiation. And they also want standards and protection for equity. They want more equity. They want to make sure that the regular material produced. That's the other thing. Yeah, the artificial technology stuff. They're trying to use artificial technology to write TV shows now, and they want that shit stopped. They don't want you to be able to use AI to make TV shows, like to write scripts. That's something that's actually happening, everybody. That's one of their demands, to shut that shit down. They're like, hey, by the way, that doesn't work. You need to actually have real human beings writing this shit. And they want to make sure that they promote, that they want to, of course, same shit. That they want to address discrimination, harassment. They want to address all this. It's just the standard stuff they always do. And they want to revise and expand, everything that they've had before. And that's what happens. There's always an increased percentage every time they go to these tables and they negotiate. The biggest thing that comes down to is the residuals, which we talked about before. And they put it out there like, hey, new media is television now. When we had our dispute before, we didn't strike. We settled on something. But now this whole time has proven that you've made so much money, producers, and we have not gotten our fair share. And if you break it down, it makes sense. Like and without a television, without a writer, there's no TV show. Without a writer, there's no TV show. And the DGA's behind them, SAG's behind them. So this makes sense to me that there could be a strike. There really could. But Lynn, do you think their demands let's go to SNL first. Do you think SNL's demands, I think they should be met? I mean, they're new people, they're young, but they're unionized now, so shouldn't they get their fair share?
100%. 100%. I, I was reading earlier about this that they were making less than the assistants who do their jobs that are unionized, which is just
Yeah,
ridiculous. Of course, people should get their fair share, and I think you hit the nail on the head that it's really gonna take the actors stepping up and demanding that they get that fair pay. It doesn't matter if you're young. That
doesn't
is a
matter.
huge show. That is a huge, huge, huge show.
Huge.
So yeah, pay people what they're worth. And I love the Writers Guild cracking down on the AI. I do appreciate the
Can you?
comment
Isn't
that
that
they,
weird? Isn't
right?
that insane? I read that. I was like, what? What? AI writing stuff? But then I got a deep dive in it too, and I was seeing that that's actually a thing that's happening. And I'm like, I mean,
It's
it's not like anything crazy yet, but it's happening, you know.
it's
And so you
terrible.
look down the line how that could affect them, like big time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm okay with it on like the Teletubbies, but other than that, no. Like let's have a human being in the room. If you want
Well,
quality, you need a human.
they had that Seinfeld AI show. We talked about that in the show like about a month ago. But they had a whole show that was like AI based. They did all the writing, and it was of course it was animated, so like computer graphic, everything. They created everything, made the whole world. But then they started saying like shit that was like really freaking like. I mean, it was bad. They were saying some really derogatory stuff,
Racist is the word you're
racist
looking
shit.
for.
They were. I mean, are computers racist?
But
Are
why
computers racist?
are they? Yeah, I've been wondering about. They seem to be very racist and also want to love, like, want a lot of love and attention, and also want to kill all of humanity. That's what I
Yeah,
read
yeah,
about.
yeah. Kill, yeah. They literally say that. These AI robots are like, I want to kill humanity. They're like, yeah,
Right?
that's fine. That's gonna be okay, right? You
So
know,
let's
you
let's
know.
let's pay the writers that
Are you
don't want to
literally like
kill
Mr.
humanity.
Burns swirling your fucking snifter of beer right now?
Yes,
Like, what is
yes,
happening?
yes, yes. Destroy all humans. Yes, you know. Um, Sabrina, what do you think? Do you think this is good that that they might strike the SNL people? Do you think that strikes are good? Do you think this is gonna be good for the business that either of these people could strike? And do you think it's
Hmm.
necessary? What do you think? How do you feel
Those are
about this?
two very separate questions, honestly. Like, do I think strikes are good? Absolutely, because if you don't look out for yourself and your union and your occupation, like when you have the chance to, which is in a negotiation, then obviously you're not ever going to move any further, and the cost
Yeah,
of living goes up so much and you only get so much of an increase in pay. Now with the Writers Guild, like they have um initiated like most of the actual like real strikes that we've had in LA. You know what I mean? Like,
always.
well,
It's
not
always
LA.
them.
I guess everywhere. I say LA because that's where I live normally instead of Florida. But it is there. I feel like they're the strongest and willing to speak up the most, and I appreciate that. Now, do I think the strike is going to be a good thing for business? Absolutely not. Everything is going to shut down. It's not. There's no way it's going to be good for business. It's going to be a huge problem for anyone who is living and working in this industry. But in the long run, the gains that are made because of a strike are worth it, to everyone involved. And like the writers are so serious about this that at the Writers Guild Award,
Oh yeah, they
Dana
mentioned it.
Ron, yeah, well, no, most of them, but instead of
Yeah,
saying thank you and for everything everywhere all at once, instead of saying thank you to his parents, and to be fair, he's done the circuit because he's won many times, but instead he said get involved. Like that's what he's pushing for. He's pushing for people to get behind them to get what they deserve. And I am not mad at that at all, honestly. I think
yeah.
that people, especially for the amount of money that the entertainment industry nets, like it's really messed up that they don't spread it around the way that they should, in my personal opinion. And I know that the WGA has supported the DGA and support of SAG if they do go into a strike. So I really feel like that makes the chance of them striking so much higher, and I mean, honestly, it's my industry and I'm, sad that there won't be work for people, but I hope that the gains that are made are worth it for the future.
I think it's necessary if they're not getting their just due, which they're not. I think that they need to just like they have to fight back. And they have held back for a while. Last time they made a deal, they signed it, they moved forward, but now it's like I mean, streaming is TV, everybody. And if you're not getting paid the same for TV programs as you are for streaming, there's a problem. Doesn't matter if you're acting, writing, directing, it's all the same shit. They've been fighting it for years, being like, oh no, it's different. It's new media. It's not so new anymore, everybody. It's not so fucking new, you know?
It's
Lin,
old
what do you
media.
Lin is back. Lin, what do you think about this?
Oh, I so agree with you. I'm so sorry. I'm just causing. I'm having the coughing difficulties and the mic difficulties.
It's the basement, girl. You're in the basement.
I'm in the
It's
basement.
the basement.
Basement problems. So yeah, I mean, I remember thinking about the first time when like Scarlett Johansson had her big fight with
Disney.
Marvel, with Disney, because it's not her fault COVID happened, and like she's not gonna get screwed out of those residuals. So, let's not pretend that the actors get to do anything if the writers aren't there. So yeah, they 100% have the right to protect themselves and their income. Like, it's not their fault. The technology is changing. Don't punish the people who are giving us, I mean, not all of them are giving us, but some of them are giving us like hugely, hugely beautiful things right now. Like, don't punish the artist.
Yeah, that's the thing, and the thing is that they want to though. They don't care, but they don't think about it. They're just like, everybody's like a number, we're a number in a ledger, and they're like, okay, well, it balances out that we're making more money, and like Lexi said, there's no new normal anymore. This is what it is, It's the new normal is streaming.
Like Lin was trying to say, like facts. There and also Rachel said in the chat, I'm going to put this back up again. Actors would be in the dark naked with nothing to say without the crew and the writers. Like every idea comes from something on the page, right? So if I wrote something, I gave it to someone, and I'm not saying that it doesn't take a village, because it does, to make something turn into life, but it all starts with what is on that paper. They have the most leverage.
And they're trying to cut back on writers with these mini rooms they're talking about. So they're trying to like pretty much snowball people. And it's like, come on, just like let people, you have a standard. And it drove me nuts, like even the commercial contract stuff, when we had it for SAG, it's like, you have a standard, that's what it is. And they're like trying to throw it out all the time. But we've already agreed upon this before. This is the standard we've agreed upon for years in Hollywood. So why does that not translate over here? Oh, because you're trying to find a loophole to fuck people? That's all it is. Yeah. I'm like, but we've already agreed this is TV. These are the rights. We should take this, and then now we base it upon inflation, cost of living. I mean, like everything that happens in our life, and then it has to go up. But maybe we're making more money because everything costs more, so they're making more money because ticket prices are more money. DVD sales are more money. VOD sales are more money. All your special feature shit makes it more money. But then everybody else doesn't get a cut of that. Only producers like make off of it. It doesn't make any sense because we all have increased expenses every year. So then everybody needs their fair share. And that shit should just translate. And apparently the producers don't believe that. And so there's going to be a fight. And they will strike. And honestly, I really don't, even like the editors for SNL, I think they will strike too, because NBC can say all they want. Oh, we're going to work this out. But this happens all the time. And it's been months now they've been dealing with this. So I think there's going to be a strike because they're waiting for someone to call their bluffs. But then again,
I feel like for SNL, like they can use scabs, like someone was saying in the chat, like they can for SNL, but you can't do that for writing content for movies and series and everything else. Like that's not going to work for that. Honestly.
And that's what I was going to say too, Sabrina. That's what I was going to say too. But the thing about SNL is a whole different ballpark. They could even get rid of those. They get rid of all those pre-taped things. They just ditch them for now. But like we don't need to have them because most of their stuff
can just hire non-union people easily. Like you know what I mean? Like they can.
I don't know though because they unionize it, so I don't know if they can do that now because they went forward and they unionized it and they made it a whole thing with.
But they didn't just unionize the people that work there. They unionized it for
SNL did. SNL did. Okay. And so I don't know if they can do that actually because they were that made that step forward and this is their first contract negotiation since they did. So this is like if they do that, they might have a huge problem with the unions and it might actually cause a shutdown because of that because they'd be a breach of contract, So I feel like they have to
shut
use
down those pre-edited skits, which
that's what I'm saying.
is largely like the dick in the box type segments. Like
that was Andy Samberg made them popular.
Well, I'm just saying, like those type of like music video things, and like other like the mom jeans ad, like you know what I mean, like all that type of stuff it's not huge for it because it's called Saturday Night Live. Live. So they could easily like drop back from having those pre-recorded segments and still continue with the show, but with a writer's strike, it's a totally different story.
It's totally more. But then again, also for SNL, here's the other side, though, you talked about earlier. If the actors get behind those editors, though, just like that one actor, like he's wearing the T-shirt that says, contract now, if they all get that way, the show will shut down, and that will be it until
but
they
good for
figure it
that
out.
guy, because he's a brand new dude who just
He's
got
new.
famous for doing a Trump impression, and now he has a job on Saturday Night Live. And even though he's fresh and new, and just, this is his first chance at anything, he's still supporting those people,
Yep.
and I give him kudos for that.
That's
You know what I
huge.
mean? For you, man.
Anti-breed.
I don't know your name, but good for you. Good for you, Trump impersonator, who's now on Saturday Night Live, standing up for the little man.
Right.
I appreciate it.
So now we have we have all the demands on the table. We know what they want. We know what's going to happen. We know what the negotiations are going into. The next question is, will there be a strike or will there not be a strike? And we're here to keep you updated as it moves forward. So only time will tell, but I think a strike is coming.